Madhavadaite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadaite Damodara Radhe Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkoda Vrinda Vidineshe Vrishabhanudati Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Sanaga Sanadana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadaite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadaite Damodara Radhe Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkoda Vrinda Vipineshe Vrishabhanudati Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake Karunam Kurumai Karuna Barite Sanaga Sanadana Varnita Charite Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadaite Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. So today we'll see about Jnana Yoga. So Bhakti Sadachar also the same way how you registered pre-Bhakti Shastra level 2. Similarly, you can register for Bhakti Sadachar. Mataji, if possible, please put the link for level 2 registration on the chat. Okay. So some of you are chanting really nice rounds. So that's why we are doing the survey just to know how many rounds you're chanting, and then you'll be allocated a counselor. So based on that, you can advance in your spiritual life. So let's go to Jnana Yoga, the transcendental knowledge. Why this knowledge is called transcendental? Why that? Why it's not just normal knowledge? You can unmute or put in the chat. Why is it called transcendental knowledge?
Because it comes from proper channel from Guru to his devotee.
You mean the parampara, the disciplic succession, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, that is one thing. And what else?
Yeah,
it is
spiritual beyond the materialistic world.
That's what it's beyond. That means spiritual, or it is above the material world, or it is Shuddha Sattvagun, right? Yes, Shobhana Mataji, anything else?
Yeah, it's a spiritual Mataji.
Tanya Mataji? The same?
Because it is spoken by Krishna himself.
Yes, that's coming from Krishna, definitely. Yes. Gita is actually coming from the lotus mouth of the Lord. Yes, Reshma Mataji, it's coming directly from the Lord. Yasvayam Patmanabhasya Mukha Patma Vinesritam Yasvayam Patmanabhasya. It's coming from the, you know how Ganges water came, Ganga? She came from the lotus feet of the Lord. When Vamanadev pushed his leg to the sky to, he was measuring, that time it pierced the material universe. I'm going to Brahmalok. That time Lord Brahma did Abhishek, and from the lotus feet of the Lord, Mother Ganges came. So Bhagavad Gita also came from the lotus mouth of the Lord, Sri Bhagavan Vaja. So that is also pure as Ganges. So it's transcendental because it's spiritual, it's above, and it's never destroyed. We are discussing the same Bhagavad Gita which the Lord told to Arjuna, and before that he spoke the Bhagavad Gita to whom? Put in the chat. Before speaking to Arjuna 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita to someone else, right? Who was that? And how many years before? Yes, sun gone. That's Vivaswan. Yes. So how many years before? 120 million years ago. Very good. Yes. And Vivaswan spoke it to Manu. Very good. Yes, Aishi. And then Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. Very good. Yes. Nandita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aisvarya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so yes, so you know how the knowledge came. It came in the parampara. Okay, the transcendental knowledge. So all glories to Shri Radha Govinda. Shri Bhagavan Vaja Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Ahum Abhyayam. Amrita, Hare Krishna, I like to chant.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam प्रोक्तवानहम् अव्ययम् विवस्वान् मनवे प्राहा मनुरिक्ष्वा कवे ब्रवीत्.
Okay, so the Blessed Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed to Manu. Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. After that, what happened? The chain got broken, right? So yes, so imperishable, it cannot be lost. There are two types of knowledge. Paravidya, Aparavidya. So whatever we are studying, no, this life, I'm a doctor. That doesn't mean that next Janma I can go and say to the hospital that I did MBBS in my last life. So give me the certificate. I want to practice as a doctor in the next life. No, I have to start from LKG itself, right? So this is what, how much of a big PhDs and big degrees you have in this Janma. The moment the body is destroyed, it's gone. Everything is destroyed. And next Janma, again, you have to start from LKG. But spiritual knowledge is not like that. It's imperishable. It cannot be destroyed even by death. So that means you know some slokas and some kind of chanting you did in this life, you start from where you stopped in your next life. So 20-30% you did in this life, 31% you start from the next life, because it's imperishable. 5,000 years ago, before that 120 million years ago, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, and even now we are speaking or discussing about that. That means it's not destroyed. Prabhupada says that if some author publish some books, okay, like a novel or anything, magazine or anything, how long that will stay in the market? Might be like 100 years, 200 years, not more than that. But after that, everyone will forget and new authors will come. But Bhagavad Gita has been there since how long, right? So yes, you can see the picture. Krishna gave it to Vivaswana, sun god to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku. And then what happened? The chain was broken. Ivam parampara prapti, evam parampara praptam, imam rajashriyo vito, sakale neha mahata, yoga nashta, parantapa nashta. It got destroyed. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession. Why is the disciplic succession important? Why can't we get directly from Krishna? And the kings understood in that way, but in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science appears to be lost. Can someone unmute and say, why you need the parampara, or why can't you directly get from Krishna? Why you need this parampara? Or why you think, yeah, you should think
because it is an oral tradition which is being transferred from the Guru Shishya Parampara.
Yes, so you need a guru, and then you try to understand through the guru. Okay, so that means guru is very important, right? And you imagine you have a very ripe fruit on top of the mango tree. Now you need that mango, and then if you just throw some stones or with a stick, you put it down, then it just gets smashed on the floor. If you want it as such as it is, I mean, without any problem, because it's so ripe that even if it falls on the ground, it will get destroyed. But just imagine on the tree there are 2-3 of them sitting, and from one person to the other person it's been handed over, and finally it reaches your hand. It's so fresh and it's so much of nectar, and it's not destroyed. Similarly, the gurus are like postman. Prabhupada says we don't edit or delete anything. We directly delivers the message as it is. So it is, we call Yadaru, because it is as it is. So it was coming like this, but then it got destroyed. So there are 4 different paramparas, as you know. There is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, that's starting from Brahma to Madhvacharya, and then you have Sri Sampradaya by Ramanacharya, Rudra Sampradaya Vishnu Swami, and Kumara Sampradaya by Niyambarkacharya. So all these are almost the same Sampradayas that's following, starting from Krishna. And our parampara is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. The significance of parampara is Bhagavad Gita is coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's transcendental, right? And should not be altered in any way. Like in material degree, you want an engineering degree, medical degree, you have to go surrender to your guru, right? Then only you can learn. Otherwise, you might misinterpret things. Similarly, in spiritual life, you need a guru. The knowledge of Gita must be accepted without material interpretation, okay? You should not mentally speculate, oh, will that happen? Because in the 4.9, Krishna says, whoever knows about his activities and birth will definitely go back to him. Then if you doubt now, really, just by knowing about Krishna, just by chanting Hare Krishna, you go back to Godhead? I don't think so. Like, no, you should not mentally speculate, because that's told by Krishna himself. It should be understood by the mercy of the Lord. Only when the Lord himself reveals to you will you able to understand Bhagavad Gita. Just by your mental speculation and knowledge, you won't be able to understand. You need the mercy of the Lord and his devotees. So we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. That's why we are all here. And also definitely we have mercy of Krishna. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita must be accepted from someone who has achieved the Lord's mercy. That's the proper qualification. Having learned it properly from someone having the proper qualification who learned it properly. That is parampara. It should come from the right source. Saevayam maya tethya yoga prokta purantara bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. So why is Krishna saying this transcendent knowledge to Arjuna? Bhaktosi me sakacheti. He is his devotee and friend. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand. So what are the Arjuna's qualification? Arjuna is a devotee and a friend. And he accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are the qualities we need. We need to be a devotee of the Lord. And we should accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord Personality. Okay? Then we'll be able to understand Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna had a doubt now. If Krishna told this to Sun God, then how is he of same age as mine? Right? How can Krishna, born as son of Devaki, instruct Vivaswan, who was millions of years old? Arjuna Vaja, Aparam Bhavato Janma, Aparam Janma, Vivashvata, Tatam Edat Vicharaniyam, Tvam Adav Proktavan Iti. So Arjuna is asking, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you, right? How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? Why? What is the answer for this question? Arjuna is asking, we both are of same age. How did you instruct the sun god in 120 million years ago? What do you think is the answer? How can Arjuna?
Answer is that Mataji, which Krishna gave in the subsequent shlokas, I think. And he said that you were earlier also, I was also there. You don't remember these things, I remember everything.
Yes.
And yeah. But
yes, Tanya Mataji. Yeah, that's right.
Krishna is transcendental.
He's transcendental. He is. See, you imagine you build a building. Okay, you constructed a building. So if you have constructed the building, that means you were there before the building, right? You are the one who built the basement and you for the foundation and you built the building. So you as a builder was there before the creation. Similarly, Krishna built the entire creation. So Krishna was there before the creation, right? So he is there before the creation. He is there during the creation. He is there even after annihilation of creation. And as spirit soul, Arjuna was also there. Always. But as Prabhu said, yes, Arjuna don't remember. We have taken so many janmas. And Krishna is eternal. As Mataji said, yes, he's transcendental. He's above the three modes. Right? And why does Arjuna ask question about this doubt? To defy demonic and atheistic people who say Krishna is ordinary. Yes, Krishna is eternal. Very good. Very nice answers. So some people think that Krishna is just an ordinary person and wants Krishna to speak authoritatively. So that's why Arjuna is asking this. So how could you tell that Bhagavad Gita was spoken to sun god Vivaswan and if he is senior by birth to you, right? So Krishna reveals his position. He says the parampara system and he says parantapa or subduer of enemy, one who gives to others transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is transcendental and he is Adi Purusham. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And as Prabhu said, yeah, this is a sloka which Krishna says, Shri Bhagavanu Vaja Bahuni me Vyatitani Janmani Tavacharjuna Tani Ham Veda Sarvani Natam Veda Parantapa. The personality of God is many, many births. Both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot or subduer of any. So Arjuna cannot remember anything. Even we cannot remember. Some fortunate souls can remember the previous life. Some of them. Some kids may be able to remember, but not everyone. Because Krishna gives them remembrance and forgetfulness. And it said that so many births have passed and Krishna could remember everything. So Krishna is like the director of the movie. He knows the past, present, future, and even the climax. But we are in the middle, stuck in the movie. We don't know what's happening, right? We don't know our previous life. We don't even know our future life. Krishna knows everything. He has a perfect plan for us. Ajo apisan avyatma bhutanam ishwaro pisan prakritim swam atishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So Krishna's form is what? Can you put in the chat? what is the eternal form, but what is that form called? What is Krishna's form called? It's not material, right? It's transcendental. Yeah, Krishna is eternal, but what form is that? Narayan, no, that's a four-handed form. Yes, Satchidananda Vigraha, right? Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means what? Anyone knows the meaning? What is Sat? Yes, the two-handed form. Very good. The Shyam Sundar form of the Lord is the eternal form of the Lord. And that's Satchidananda. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So what's the meaning of Sat, Chit, and Ananda? No, universal form is not the eternal form. That is just a temporary form. Yes, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Very good. Yes. So he's eternal. Eternal means Sanatan. That means no beginning, no end. Okay. He's eternal, ever existing. And Chit means knowledge, full of knowledge, and Ananda, bliss. So that is Krishna's original form. And Aishi, as he said, the universal form, that is just a temporary form. It's transcendental, but still it's in the material world. The universal form doesn't exist in the spiritual world. Krishna showed the universal form just for the atheist and demonic people. He doesn't have it in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, it's the two-handed Shyam Sundar form. That's in Goloka Vrindavan, and Vaikuntha, it's a four-handed form. So Krishna's body is spiritual, our form is temporary. And we are controlled by Maya. Krishna is the controller of Maya, right? So you can see the three modes are holding us, but Krishna is above that. It doesn't affect him. Okay, so he's eternal, and Krishna remembers the past, present, and future. He's Achyuta, never forgets or never falls. And we are eternal, but he forgets. Just imagine we remembering all our janmas, we'll go crazy. So Krishna is forgetfulness, also a blessing. Remembers all the birth because the body does not deteriorate or change, right? But we forget because we change our body. He appears by his own sweet will, but we are forced to appear by karma. We, as spirit soul, is pushed in the semen of the father, and it's pushed in the womb of the mother, and we're pushed by Maya into this material world. We are forced. We can't select our parents. We can't select the way we look. No, but Krishna could select his parents, select the time he appears, and everything. By the way, we have Janmashtami festival happening on August 19th, 18th, 19th in Mangalore. This Mangalore Yatra. I think the thing will be shared to you. If possible, you can visit the Mangalore temple. It's going to be a grand festival. So we are forced by karma. There are definitely karma binding us. We and our parents, our children will be having a particular karma shared. And Krishna's body is transcendental. Our body is material, made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. There's no difference between Krishna's body and soul, but for us, we have a different body and the soul is different. Okay. So Krishna appears. And when does Krishna appear? Put in the chat. So he talks about his activities, explains why and when Krishna appears. So why Krishna appears? Yes, when adharma happens, Krishna comes, definitely, right? So, yes, Amrita, you want to chant?
Yes, Mataji. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham.
Yeah, so Krishna appears when there is adharma increasing, right? Yes, everyone are right. And when dharma declines, right? So Krishna appears. So here what's happening? Who is this? Put in the chat, who is this? And what is, what's happening here? Just mention the personalities here. Who's this? Who's this? So yes, adharma is happening. Yes, Kamsa is trying to kill whom? Who's this? Yes, Devaki, right? So Devaki and Vasudeva, Krishna's parents. So much of adharma, own sister, his own sister, and on her marriage day, he's killing, right? So that's the demonic mentality. Now, some Akashvani came and said the eighth son will kill you, and the demons are so frightened, right? So he's trying to kill his own sister, and that's adharma happening. So Krishna comes in every yuga. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice, or descend of Bharata, the prominent rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself, right? So now people might say, so much of adharma is happening in Kali Yuga. Where is Krishna? Krishna is in his holy name. Kalikale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar, but we don't realize it. Krishna has appeared in the form of Bhagavatam, in Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. And Krishna has come in his holy name, but we don't realize. The more you take shelter of holy name, you realize that Krishna is always here with us. Okay, so why does Krishna appear? Yes, Amrita. Hare Krishna, are you there? Okay, so
Yes, Mataji.
Chant.
परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
Okay, so to protect the devotees, to kill the demons, and to establish dharma. So the first foremost is protecting devotee. Okay, that is very important. Krishna appears, okay, dharma establishing and all is secondary. But the first is Krishna appears for his devotees because Krishna is Bhakta Valsala, right? Krishna is so attached to the devotees that he can't see the devotees suffering. He will appear or he will send his representative. So that's why this statement is given first. Paritranaya sadhuna comes first because Krishna wants to protect his devotees. He says, Namay Bhakta Pranashyati, right? Whatever happens, Krishna saved Arjuna, Krishna saved Kunti, and all the Pandavas, they had so many problems, right? So initially they were put to Vanavas, there Krishna helped. Their Bhima was given poison, Krishna helped. The hut was put into fire, Krishna helped. Draupadi was tried to be disrobed in the Sabha, Krishna helped. And finally, when the war happened, again in Kurukshetra war, Arjuna was saved. Everything Krishna did, right, for his devotees. Any devotee you take, Krishna always helps. So that is the first reason. And when Krishna wants to protect his devotees, as a side business or as a byproduct, Krishna kills the demons. Krishna actually don't appear to kill only the demon, no. You say, you take any avatars of the Lord, you can see he came as Varahadev and killed Hiranyaksha, but he was protecting Mother Earth. And he came as Narasimhadev to kill Hiranyakashipu, but he was protecting Prahlad. So every incarnation has a particular reason why Krishna appeared, that is to save his devotees. Okay, so that is very important. Rest everything is just follows. To deliver the pious, to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish dharma, principles of religion. He appears millennium after millennium. And what is the benefit of knowing Krishna's birth and appearance and activities? This is a very important sloka which you all should memorize. These three slokas, 4.6, 7, 8, 9. Please try to memorize. Okay, are you there, Amrita? Then chant the sloka. Everyone has to memorize the sloka because it asks us what is the reason and why are we knowing about Krishna's activities. Now, when you come to ISKCON, there's a lot of Krishna Katha going on. And we read Bhagavad Gita, we hear Bhagavatam daily. I request all of you to please attend Srimad Bhagavatam class that's happening daily in our temple. Either you can attend the English one or Hindi, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Gujarati, Malyalam, any languages, so many languages available. So please we'll try to post the links in the WhatsApp group. So please try to attend. It's required in your sadhana chat as well. It's good if you know, because now we finished the level 1 course of Bhagavad Gita. You know a little bit of Bhagavad Gita. Now it's time to start knowing Bhagavatam. Okay. Janma karma jamedipyam evam yoviti tattvadaha Tyaktva punarjanma naiti mameti Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of his appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, takes his birth again in this material world, but attains is abode. Who is these two? Oh, it's already given here. It's Nalakuvera and Manigriva, right? Narad Muni cursed them and they became trees in the courtyard of Nanda Baba. This is the Damodar Leela that's happening, right? Vidaraga Bayakroda Manmaya Mama Upashrita Bahavo Janma Tapasa Uda Madbhava Magada. Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in the Lord, taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they have attained the transcendental love for me. So you should be chanting the holy name, and then what happens? Nirbande Krishna Sambande Yukta Vairagya Machade. If you get attached to Krishna, then Vairagyam will happen automatically. Okay, so it's very important to know that Vasudeva Bhagavatir Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanadi Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. So when you do Bhakti Yoga to Vasudeva Krishna, then Jnanam and Vairagya comes as your byproducts. Bhagavatam explains. So you get knowledge and you will also get Vairagyam. Vairagyam in the sense you're not running off anywhere, but you get externally or internally detached. Externally you'll be like a normal grihastha, but internally you'll be thinking always of Krishna. So you get purified and then we can go back to the Lord. So that's why in ISKCON we are so much emphasizing on hearing Shravanam Kirtanam, because just by hearing about the Lord, just by chanting his holy name, we can go back. Is it not easy? Susukam kartum avyayam. Very easy to go back. So Prabhupada has given us such a nice technique of Krishna consciousness. Actually, it comes from Krishna himself, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Different degrees of affliction. So we the raga, bhaya, krodha. So these things, raga means strong attachment to material life. So what will happen? You will start neglecting spiritual life because you are so much into sense gratification. There are homes where they don't even chant, they don't even have an altar, they don't have any pictures of the Lord. They don't want it because they just want to have a material life. No, they're so attached to material life, they don't have time to go to temple or so. Then via fear of personal spiritual identity, for them merging into impersonal is highest. Anyone know what type of mukti is this? You merge into the Brahman or the impersonal form. It's called which type of mukti? Put in the chat. And because they are too absorbed in material body concept of retaining personality of liberation from matter frightens them. And then the analogy is impersonalists compare living entities to the bubbles in the ocean which merge into the ocean, right? So what does the impersonalist want? Yes, very good. Sayuja Mukti. Very good, Shaila Mataji. Sayuja Mukti means merging into the Brahman effulgence or merging into the existence. It's called Sayuja Mukti. There are 5 types of Mukti: Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, Sashti, and Sayuja. I think I explained last time. So Sayuja means merging. And impersonalists, they think, like you've seen bubbles in the ocean, they just merge into the ocean. They just breaks and they merge, right? So what is it? And again, they become bubbles, right? Does it mean that they are liberated? No, right? So the bubbles are broken and again they go to the waves, again they try to become bubbles. That means there is rebirth again and again. They think they have become one with the Lord. The bubble think they have become one with the ocean, but again they are recreated again and again. So krodha is anger, concept of void resulting from frustration of life. Why do we get anger? Because of frustration and becoming angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness and takes to intoxication, accepts hallucination. So you have to apply the transcendental knowledge. Okay, by hearing about Krishna, many people have got the love for Krishna and they have attained Krishna. They had this desire. Okay, but what if someone takes shelter of Krishna with something other than desire of transcendental love for him? Can someone answer this question? What will happen to someone who have taken shelter of Krishna with some other desire? Like they want a big car or a big nice job or to get married, to have grandchildren. What will happen to them? That you have some other desire, so many material desire, and you are approaching Krishna. Then what will happen? Shubham Prabhu.
They will get those things, but they will not get the Lord's love. They will again
yes.
asking for give this, but that will not stop.
Yes. So that means you're going to Narayan and you are telling, you don't come, just send Lakshmi to us. And Lakshmi Devi, she sits in a lotus and it's very chanchal. She's chanchala. So she can remain in your house or she can just go. But if you call Narayan himself to your home, then what will happen? Narayan will stay with you. And Lakshmi also will stay with you, right? So Krishna Bhakta Bada Chatur. Krishna fulfills, yes. And we will not ask again. Yes, Krishna will fulfill. And there's a rebirth. Yes, Prabhu, that's right. There's rebirth again and again. Because you have a lot of desires, you will be taken rebirth again and again. Krishna will fulfill. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama utariti tivrena bhakti yogena yajete parusham param. Akama, if you don't have any desire, sarva kamo, you have lot of desire. Moksha kama, your desire is moksha or liberation. Still, tivrena bhakti yogena, you have to do bhakti yoga. If you have a lot of desires, do bhakti yoga, go to Krishna. You have no desires, still go to Krishna. You want moksha, go to Krishna, because moksha can be given only by Vasudeva or Vishnu, right? Mukti pradada sarvesha, Vishnu evana samshaya. Only Lord Vishnu, Krishna can give you mukti or liberation, right? Otherwise, nobody can give. So we should have the desire to attain Krishna. So he explains Krishna's reciprocation with people. As someone surrenders to Lord, he rewards them accordingly. Everyone follows his path in all respects. O son of Pritha. Anyone know who's Pritha? Partha is Arjuna. Who's Pritha? Let's put in the chat. So how you surrender to Krishna? Krishna reciprocates. Krishna reciprocates the gopis in one way. Krishna reciprocates, that's in Madhurya Ras. Krishna reciprocates to Yashodama in Valsalya Ras. Krishna reciprocated to the Gopals in Sakya Ras, right? And he was also in Shanta Ras. to people. Dasyaras. So yes, Kunti is Pritha, good. So son of Pritha means Arjuna and all the Pandavas. So Krishna reciprocates the way we approach him. Different rasas are there to go to have relationship with Krishna. The primary rasas, that is Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Valsarya, and Madhurya. Okay, Shanta means just thinking that Lord is great. That's Shanta. Dasya means you start serving the Lord as a servant. Then Valsalya means Sakya means friendship, like Arjuna. And Valsalya means as a parent, like Yashoda Maya, and Madhurya is like gopis. So there are 3 levels of realizing the absolute truth, right? So who realize Krishna fully? Only pure devotees. So there is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization. And everyone is looking for Krishna in different aspect. Krishna is the object of realization for everyone, right? If there is a fruity worker, karmi, they think Krishna is Yajneshwar. Impersonalist or Mayavadis, they think Krishna is Brahmajyoti. The yogis sees the mystic power, Siddhi, and the devotees have these 5 primary rasas, which I said, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Valsalya, Madhurya. So all kind of spiritual process have a different degrees of success in the same path. Everyone depends on Krishna's mercy. Okay, so that's this verse I told. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yajade purusham varam. So the second canto it comes. So we have to go to Krishna. Whatever your desire is, go to Krishna. Why are you going to someone else? Go to the Lord. Kamshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta ihate vada shipram hi manishi loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So they want results, quick results, and they go to the demigods. But they don't know that even the demigods are under the Lord, and in order to give the blessings, the demigods have to get the sanction from Krishna. Krishna is the one who actually sanctions it, because he is the super soul of Paramatma in everyone's heart. Chaturvanyamaya srishtam guna karma vibhakashaha. Okay, you like to chant? Yeah, Amrita.
Yes, Mataji. Chaturvanyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kartaram abhimam vidya kartaram
Avyayam. Okay, so according to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with them, 4 divisions of human society are created by the Lord. Who are they? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Although he is the creator of the system, we should know that he is the non-doer. Means, I'll tell you why this statement is. Okay, Krishna is saying that he created the system, but how come he is the non-doer, being unchangeable? Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is and that's why he's called Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is a Kshatriya. Does that mean Krishna is a Kshatriya? No. Krishna went as a foster son of Nanda Baba in Gokul and Vrindavan later on. And he started raising the cow because Nanda Baba is a Vaishya. Does that mean Krishna is a Vaishya? No, he has transcendental body. He doesn't belong to any of these systems, right? We belong to one of the systems. So according to the 3 modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the 4 divisions of human society is created by the Lord. The Lord created them. Brahmanas are supposed to be the head of the Lord. Kshatriyas are the hands of the Lord. Vaishyas are the belly. And Shudras are the legs, because they help others. Why he created? It's because we should do devotional service. Okay, there is Varnashrama. So there is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. And 4 ashramas are Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these classes. He's the creator. He's not a conditioned soul like us, right? So he might appear as a Kshatriya or Vaishya. That doesn't mean Krishna belongs to that particular category. So Vaishnava is above all that, higher than a Brahmana. And Brahmana is in mode of goodness, Kshatriya in mode of passion, Rajoguna, Vaishya, passion and ignorance, Shudra mostly in ignorance. Okay, so not just because you're born in a Brahmin family, you become a Brahmana. No, it's based on your guna and karma. The quality and the work you do. That's very important. So anybody can become a Brahmana just by following Krishna consciousness. That's why you in ISKCON you have the Shraddhavan, Sadhak, Sevak and all Ashraya, and after Guru Ashraya you take initiation, you get Diksha. That's the first initiation, the Harinam Diksha, and your name is changed and you get the beads from your Guru. You accept a Guru. Next is there is a Brahmani Diksha where you are giving a Brahman, the Prabhus will given a Brahmanic thread, and the Matajis and Prabhus will be given a Gayatri Mantra to chant. That is Brahmanic initiation. That's the second, the highest level. So anybody can be elevated to the Brahmanic standard if you follow the rules and regulations. That's very important. So the purpose of this Varnashrama system is basically to develop Krishna consciousness, to elevate a consciousness to higher level. Okay. Namam karmani limpanti name karme phalaspraha iti mamyo abhijanati karma birnasa bhadyate. Who is this? Anyone knows? Someone came to meet Krishna and Krishna washes his feet with his own hands. Who's that? There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of the work. Yes, Sudama or Kujela. So when Krishna washed the lotus feet of Kujela, does that mean that Krishna has become a servant of Kujela or Sudama? No. No work affects Krishna. Nothing entangles him. Right? Nachasta karyam karanam cha vidyate. He doesn't have any work to do, but he's doing out of love because of Sakyaras. And what is happening in this picture? That's funny pastime. Okay, I can unmute. What is happening to that picture? Why Krishna is taking that wheel?
Yeah,
He wanted to attack Bhishma Pitama.
it is
in the
because
war.
In the war, the Krishna has vowed that he lift any weapon.
He will not lift any
but
weapon.
Bhishma wanted him to. So Bhishma was attacking the Arjuna, and Krishna was sure that Bhishma may kill Arjuna. So to protect his friend or devotee, Krishna broken his vow and he attacked with the wheel in his hands like Sudarshan Chakra, and he ran towards Bhishma.
Yes, Mataji, you were saying something?
Same thing, Mataji, but before Krishna broke his vow, Krishna made Bhishma break his vow because, he had those five arrows with him, with each Pandavas, and Duryodhana has taken it, and Krishna suggests Arjuna to ask from Duryodhana. And since Bhishma couldn't, satisfy his promise, he wanted Krishna also to do that.
Yes, very good. And since that's a nice thing. So Krishna broke the promise of Bhishma. So Bhishma next day broke the promise of Krishna. That Krishna took a promise that I'll never lift a weapon in the war, but still to protect Arjuna, Krishna did that. But that was also Bhishma's plan. You broke my promise. Tomorrow I'll break your promise. And what is the name which Krishna got because he pulled the wheel? Put in the chat. Krishna got a special name because he lifted that wheel. What is that name? And later on, Krishna also raised the cows. That doesn't mean Krishna is a cowherd boy. And Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. He got the name Parthasarathi. And doesn't mean he fall down from that position. He's called Achyuta because of that. Nobody knows. Since Krishna lifted the chakra, he's called Chakrapani. Okay. There's another name which Krishna got. Evam jnatva kritam karma purver api mumukshupi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purve purvataram kritam. So anybody who didn't know the pastime of Bhishma Dev and Krishna fighting, please remind me. I'll talk about it after the class. Okay. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following their footsteps. Mahajanena gadasapanta. We should follow the footsteps of the acharyas. The 32nd acharya of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya of ISKCON, or the Sampradaya, is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. His guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. His guru is Gaura Kishori Das Babaji. His guru is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and his guru is Jagannath Das Babaji. Then you can see from Krishna to Brahma to Narad Muni, Vyasadev, Madhvacharya, the parampara is so glorious. And we should follow the footsteps. So this we have already discussed. Karma, vikarma, akarma. Karma means what? Something to be performed, and it has mentioned in the scriptures. Vikarma is which is going against the scriptures. So perform a misusing of one's freedom. That's a negative thing. Akarma is that frees you from the cycle of birth and death. So what is akarma? Put in the chat, what is the akarma we should do in Kali Yuga so that you can be free from the cycle of birth and death? So law of nature is every action has equal and opposite reaction. But when you do akarma, everything is burnt. All the reactions gets crushed. Chanting. Yes, very good. So the akarma is chanting the holy name. All the reactions gets crushed. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayo api atra mohita tatte karma pravakshyami yajnatva mokshase ashupat. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action, what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. So sometimes we don't know, should I do this? Should I not do this? But now Krishna is instructing what to do and what not to do. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanasya bodhavyam gahana karmano gita gati. The intricacies of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, what inaction is. So action is karma, forbidden action is vikarma, and inaction is akarma. So akarma looks like inaction. That means you're chanting Hare Krishna and someone in your house will say, what are you doing? From morning you're sitting in one place and just chanting. You're not doing anything. So it looks like we are not doing anything. We're chanting, but we are actually in action because we are destroying all our karmas from previous life, right? So it looks like inaction, but there is actually action happening in akarma. So we see the different examples. Okay, in vikarma, something that is not prescribed in the scriptures, do not follow the Vedas, risk of being degraded to lower species, and not appreciated by saintly people, and defeat the purpose of life. And karmis, that is karma, follows the Vedas, they are pious, and they attain swarga, they go to heavenly planets. Then what happens? Once your punya is over, Shene punya martyaloga vishati, you again fall down. So eventually they return to martyaloga. This world is called martyaloga, right? And what about akarma? Like Narad Muni, always chanting the Lord's name, have come to the platform of devotional service to Krishna. That is called akarma. So knowing fruitive activity, no fruitive activities binds and means rebirth. Okay, so if fruitive activity binds, there is rebirth. But in akarma, there is no rebirth. Karmani akarmaya pashe, akarmani cha karmaya, sabuddhiman manishyeshu, sayukta Krishna karma krit. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. A little difficult to understand this, but just understand that akarma means akarma. Actually, we doesn't look like we are doing anything. It looks like inaction, but there is actually action happening. That means you're actually burning out all your reaction. But sometimes we see people working, but then what happens? They'll be like getting entangled, but sometimes they work and they are detached from everything, so they karma doesn't bind them. Okay, yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagni dakta karmanam tam ahu panditam buddha. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by fire of perfect knowledge. So not getting attached to the fruits of the results. What is that called? What karma is that? Not attached, giving up the fruits of the activities is called what karma?
Nishkam karma.
Yes, very good. So that's nishkama karma yoga. That means you're not attached to the fruits. You give up the fruits of your activities. Yes, Prerna Mataji. Yes, that's called nishkama karma yoga. Tyakva karma phala sangam nitya trupto nirashayah karmani api pravarto api naiva kinchit karoti saha. Abandoning all attachments to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kind of undertakings. Okay, so that is called nishkama karma yoga. There is no attachment at all. Nirasir yada chittatma tyaktat sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan napnodi kilpisham. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, give up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and act only for the bare necessity of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reaction. Anyone know who they are? I'll give a clue. They are from Vrindavan. You can put in the chat. Who are they? Okay, they're from Vrindavan, and yeah, the Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis, the Shad Goswamis, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, then Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. We'll talk about Goswamis later on. Maybe in level 3, you'll know more about them, the Shad Goswamis. When you go to level 3, you will learn the books written by them, like Nectar of Devotion, or and then Nectar of Instructions and all that. So you'll know more about them. Okay. Yatricha. So just know that they were just living for bare necessities of life. Tucham, Sada Tucham, and they always live in a simple life. They used to live in a very simple life. Yadrichala Pashantushto, Dvandvaido, Vimatsara, Sama Siddhau, Asiddhaucha, Kritvavi, Na Nibadyate. He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of his own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, all the performing actions. So this is a kind of a high stage that you get never entangled, because success and failure does not affect you. And there's no envy. Gada sankasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasa yajna yacharata karma samagram praviliyate. The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendent knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Okay, so this is Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. When they write, they were writing literatures, and when they were writing transcendental literatures, they always think about the Lord's pastime. So they are unattached to the modes of material nature, and they are in full transcendental knowledge. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagnav Brahmanahudam Brahmaivatena Gandhavya Brahma Karma Samadhina. A person who's fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of same spiritual nature. So someone is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, definitely they attain the spiritual kingdom. How is that possible? In Kali Yuga, it's not possible. That's why it said chanting the holy name. We should always chant the holy name so that we'll be okay. Can you put in the chat how many rounds you all chant? Mention. I know the eligibility is 1 round, but there are people who chant, devotees who chant more rounds here. 4, 2, 2 to 3, good. 16 plus. Nanda Kishore Prabhu, Hari Bol. 32, Jai Shri Mataji, Hari Hari Bol. Oh, that's so nice. 14 rounds. Amrita, you're just a kid and you're chanting 14 rounds. Shruti Mataji, 5 rounds, good. 2 rounds. Oh, that's so nice. So we have nice Nanda Kishore Prabhu 16 plus, and also 24 Sulochana Mataji, very good. Rajat Mishra 17. Yeah, that's okay. See, you start with 1 round, okay? So don't get scared by seeing the 16 plus and all. It takes time for everyone to go. So, but you should always go up. Don't try to stay somewhere. So you're chanting 1 round, good, great enthusiasm. Start doing more, okay? And every Ekadashi, try to increase your rounds. So good. So when you start, keep chanting. When you give 10 minutes to Krishna, chanting the holy name, Krishna will take more from you. He is time, Kalosmi. He'll expand time for you and you'll get more time. You sometimes you feel how you're chanting, you have work, you have job and everything, but then you're chanting, Krishna will expand your time. And if possible, try to do it in Brahma Muhurta. I tell you, when you chant 10 rounds the other day's times, or we chant 1 round in Brahma Muhurta, like 1.5 hours before sunrise, if you chant at that time, it is more powerful, more strong, because Sattva Guna is dominating in the nature. So if you are able to chant at those time, the whole world is sleeping and you can have a lot of concentration to chant. So try to chant on that time, but that's okay. Initially you can chant whenever you want, but it's always good to chant more. Okay, when you go, now you're in level 2. If you want to go to level 3, you should go reach up to 4 rounds. So set a criteria, set your target at 4 rounds, and by the end of 18 weeks, we are in 4th chapter. We'll take some more months, but then you should be able to reach 4 rounds by then. That's the eligibility to go to the next level. Okay, so working on one's own account and working on God's account. Sometimes a cashier, you can see in the bank, there'll be a lot of cashes will go through his hands. Does anything belong to him? No. Right? And if he steals something from that, he's arrested. That means He has to work for the bank. He's not working for himself, and nothing belongs to him. A soldier killing the army is awarded Paramveer Chakra, right? But he kills the neighbor, he's arrested. That means he comes out of his duty, he is gone. And Arjuna fighting, that means adharma. Arjuna is fighting for dharma, yuddha, on behalf of God, and Duryodhana fighting for his own selfish plan, right? So for Arjuna, there's no karma binding. Not necessary to take bath or to chant in Brahma Muhurta. Anyhow, you can chant. That's okay. Tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala. There's no rules and regulations for chanting. Just get up and start chanting. Okay. If you're sleepy, just wash your face with cold water. It's not necessary, but if you can take bath, no problem. That's good. It's not like denied. But if you can't, it's okay. There's no offense. Harinam doesn't take any offense. So that's why you should chant Panchatattva mantra before chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So if someone have difficulty in getting up early morning, plan your day in such a way that immediately after the class, you go have your dinner and then sleep early. And then what happened? Yeah, you can chant on the beats, no problem. You can chant on the beats before taking bath, no problem. So you come and T.ly temple, that's our link, come to the Mangalarati and attend the Mangalarati, and along with the devotees start chanting. Okay. So if you take bath, there is concentration is better. That's good. But if you can't, that's okay. So there's no rules. We don't want to discourage you. Like when you impose a lot of rules, you say you should take bath, do this, and sometimes it's cold, sometimes you're not able to do. Just because you can't take bath, you'll again sleep off. I mean, nothing should stop you from chanting. Yes, slowly, as you keep chanting, you yourself will start taking bath and all that. But that's okay. That's all secondary. Okay. Mahaprabhu says there's no rules. So happiness without sacrifice, never, right? Lord Brahma, when he was created, he heard two words from the Lord. Tapa, do tapasya. So Lord Brahma did tapasya to get Krishna. So we also have to do sacrifice. And the sacrifice in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy name. All sacrifices must be performed with the knowledge of their purpose and goal. We should know why we are chanting, right? Because of ignorance, we are in material existence. We do sin, right? And the cycle repeats again and again. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of simple reaction, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifice, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. The more you chant, the more you go back to Krishna. Nayam loga asti avatnyasya kudo anya kuru sattama. O best of Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never be happy in this planet or in this life. What then of next? So sacrifice has to be done. As in Satya Yuga, they did meditation. In Treta Yuga, they did fire sacrifice. In Dwapar Yuga, they did temple worship. So in Kali Yuga, the chanting the holy name. Kalor doshane de rajan hasti heko mahagunar kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangam param vrajit. Kali Yuga is full of faults. There is one good quality. Kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangam param vrajit. If you chant the holy name of Krishna, you get moksha. It's very easy to perform in Kali Yuga, right? Very easy. Lord Chaitanya has been more merciful to us, and he has given this holy name, but we don't have taste to chant the holy name. What to do? Durdeva midrishami hajanina anuraga. So you should have taste for that. You should have good association of devotees. When you see others chanting, you also feel like chanting. That's why come early morning Mangalarati, then try to attend the japa. All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different type of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. O chastiser of enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possession. After all, son of Prita, all sacrifice of work culminates in transcendental knowledge. So why are we doing all this sacrifice? So that we can go back to the Lord. We understand about the Lord. So this is where Prabhupada conducted the first chanting in America, Thompson Square Park, where Prabhupada went and he had a kartal and he started chanting the holy name. Many people used to come, and then later on Prabhupada started talking about the Harinam to them and gave them Harinam. Okay, so this is a very important sloka that we should know, that we need a guru in order to surrender to the Lord. Yes, Amrita.
Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas sattvadarshinaha.
Okay, so this is the importance of having a guru. So Krishna and Balram, even they had a guru called Santi Panini. Anyone know who's the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Put in the chat. So tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya. Like we all have a dog at home. I mean, like a fashion. It's kind of a fashion to have a dog at home. Similarly, people think that to have a guru is a fashion. No, guru is not just for fashion. He is to be inquired about the truth. Brahma jignasa. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya. You need to ask questions. Yes, Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri is the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. Go to the spiritual master, pariprashnana seva. You need to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, how will you learn? And then you have to inquire him submissively, not asking challenging questions. Or let me see whether this guru knows what I know. And you try to challenge the guru. No, submissively render service unto him. Humble and self-realized souls can impart knowledge to you because they have seen the truth. They are tattva darshina. They have seen the truth, so you get them. So one who can achieve the transcendental knowledge, who has faith, can achieve transcendental knowledge, and who's free from doubts. So we should have faith in Krishna and spiritual master. Otherwise, we can't understand the knowledge, and we should be free from doubt. Initially, we'll have some doubts, but as we chant, all the doubts get cleared. So Krishna says, "Oh Bharata, stand and fight. No sinful reaction can affect one who performs his duty with transcendental knowledge." Now, Arjuna, initially, he didn't want to fight. That was his sense gratification. Now, Krishna says, you fight, because for Krishna, if he fights, it is akarma. Okay, slash with knowledge all doubts born of ignorance. So Prabhupada, he was in America, and it was Janmashtami coming. So Prabhupada didn't know what to do. He wanted to go back to India, and he was saying, I want to go to Vrindavan and celebrate Janmashtami. But then that becomes my sense gratification. No, I have to be in America and preach. Then I'm doing it for Krishna. So see, even though celebrating Janmashtami in Vrindavan is spiritual, but still, because he was doing for his sense gratification, he didn't want that to do. Tasmat ajnana sambudam ritastam jnana sinatmana chitvainam samshayam yogam ashtot ishtasta bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand up and fight. So he says that ignorance should, I'll take the questions towards the end, please. So we are almost done. So your doubts should be, the doubts, whatever you have, the ignorance should be slashed with the weapon of knowledge. And then you should stand and fight. I think we are done. So this is the last slide. And here it says that all the doubt arising in the heart is out of ignorance, and it should be destroyed. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we have monthly cycles, can we chant on Japamala? Yes, no problem. See, Krishna is so pure, okay? In the 10th chapter, 12th sloka, Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Pavitram. Krishna is so pure, Pavitram, that, see, you take a diamond and put it in the mud, still it's a diamond. It glows. I mean, it shines. Similarly, Krishna's holy name and Krishna is not different. So even if we have these monthly problems, periods, and if we chant the holy name doesn't get impure. People, the devotees, they go to the bathroom and also they chant. They don't take the beads inside, but at least they'll just chant orally. So anywhere you can chant. That's why I told, taking bath, it's not an issue. You can chant before taking bath also, because Krishna is so pure. But as Prabhu said, to increase your concentration, because sometimes you're so sleepy and you might miss the rounds. You may not have concentration. To have nice concentrated, nice japa, then it's better to take a bath. Okay, Shubham Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I want to know whether Srila Prabhupada was taking bath with cold water, is it?
Yes. Even if it's very winter time, the very cold time, still he used to take cold water bath. But
at
for
what
us,
time?
4:30, before 4:30, no? 4 o'clock.
Okay. And Mataji, I want to know what is your profession and your what is that?
Yeah, I'm working. I've basically done my MBBS, and I'm working in a gynec hospital presently. Now I've taken a break, but I'm working in a gynecology hospital.
And what is your schedule? Means when you are chanting and when you are managing your work and all, how you are managing these things?
Better to chant in the morning, because if I miss the Brahma Muhurta chant, then my whole day is like gone. So definitely I get up at 4:30 and then finish the rounds. Before 6:37, the rounds are done, like 16 rounds. Sometimes there might be some engagement and sometimes it breaks, but then definitely early morning chant is the great time. And then whenever I get time, I try to read Prabhupada's book, try to hear Prabhupada's lecture. So always try to hear Prabhupada's lecture. That's really powerful. So,
and how many rounds you are doing?
No, now I'm able to do only 16. In Ekadashi time, I try to do more. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Ketaki Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Like we say about chanting, right? So 16 rounds of chanting that is required on the beats, or we can just chant normally.
So Prabhupada says on the beats, and 16 rounds will take 2 hours. So on the beats, but sometimes we are traveling, or sometimes we are not able to do it. Then you can use a clicker or to just chant. Clicker. So like you'll get in a fancy or stationery shop, something like this, where you just keep pressing and then the number comes 108 and something. So if it is 1728, that's 16 rounds. 1,728 times you chant Hare Krishna mantra. So it's okay if you use a clicker in the hands, you can chant, but better to do it in the beats if you can. Okay.
Because sometimes what happens is like on the japa we sit and we usually count the beats and chant, but normally what I am doing is like 4 rounds I'm doing that, and generally instead of listening to some songs or something, there's a kirtan that Ananya Mataji had done in 18 days course that I usually sing or I hear. So will that also be counted as japa, or it is just kirtan type, like while walking sometimes we do, or while working we do? So will that be counted?
You're not able to count, no? Are you able to count? It's 100. See, counting is actually Sankhya Purvaka. It's just to make us consistent every day. But that's okay. Krishna keeps it in account. Don't worry. So Krishna will never miss it. Either you do it in that way, but 4 rounds you do it on the beats. Yes. Okay. Rest it's okay. You do it with the kirtan. It's always counted. Now what is it? Salpam apyasya dharmasya traide mahadhumayat. Even small thing that is done, it's never wasted. So definitely it's counted. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Hare Krishna, Shruti Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the session. So I was inquisitive to know about that 4.4. What is the 4.4? The chapter 4, verse 4.
Verse 4. Okay.
I'm just more interested. Yeah, chapter 4, verse 4. So you said that, just correct me if I've understood you the right way. So Krishna 120 million years ago, he gave the burden of Bhagavad Gita to Vivasana. Is that correct?
Vivaswan, sun god. Vivaswan, right? Sun god.
Okay. So Vivaswan is a sun god, right? Or the other name of Surya is sun Vivas.
Yes.
Vivaswan. Okay. And from there it went to Manu. So who is this Manu? Who is Ikshvaku? Can you explain if you have any idea?
It's their son actually. Vivaswan son, Manu son, Ikshvaku.
Why is it?
Yeah. And why?
Okay.
I can't hear you. Okay.
I think
Manu is the father of mankind.
I think there is a